Now, hello, my name is Miss Nolan. You can call me Shania, and I'm your social worker today. And I'm here to help you with whatever you need help with today. So, can you tell me why you decided to come and see me today?
My mother passed away recently, about 3 months ago, and I started drinking vodka
Mhm.
a lot, all day, all morning.
I'm sorry to hear that. I can totally empathize with you. I've lost my mother too, so I can understand how that feels. And I'm sorry that you are going through that. So, did you have a drinking problem prior to losing your mom, or it started when your mom passed away?
Before, I guess you could say I was a heavy drinker, but it wasn't, it was in the appropriate hours. So it would be like in the evening, I'd get drunk, not drunk, but drink till I get that buzz, and then I would stop. Now it's to the point like I like the buzz. I like how I feel with the buzz. So I drink past the buzz because I forget about what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay. And is this affecting any other facets in your life as far as like work or any of your other obligations you have in your personal or professional life?
I'm a full-time student and I do work. It's only part-time. But there have been days that I've called my boss and moved around my schedule because I was just too tired or I just felt like crap and just didn't feel like working and just wanted to sit there in my bed and drink vodka.
Gotcha. And so how often do you feel like you are missing work because of this, or is it just like a once in a blue moon type of ordeal?
Probably shifting around my work schedule probably twice every month.
Okay. All right. Well, we have some work to do, but no need to fear. We're just going to do a couple of things first so I can understand your drinking habits a little bit better. So that way it can help me make a plausible or workable plan for you to help with this drinking. And I understand you have a lot of other emotions going on, like with the grief of your mother. So there's a lot of things that are combined with this habit. But we got to start somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. It's going to be about 10 questions. And it's going to be a scale. The scale is going to vary. It may be like never to like often or 0 to 10. It just depends on what the question is. And I want you to answer these questions on your best abilities. Now, when I ask you some of the questions, I'm going to ask you about how many drinks you drink per day. Now, when I talk about a drink, there's different examples. So, a drink for a beer would be 12 ounces. So, that's a whole beer can. For wine, it would be 5 ounces. So, that's about like a half of a wine glass of wine. And then liquor, which is like one shot, is 1.5 ounces. So those little shot glasses you get like on Bourbon Street and things like that, that's a shot. So any of those equals one drink. So I know most time when you're drinking, especially like vodka, you're not really like checking to see how many shots you're taking. But like if you can kind of put like what you think um how many shots you're drinking or how many drinks you're drinking out of that bottle. Those are what I'm looking for when I ask those type of questions. So before we start the questionnaire, do you have any questions or concerns?
No, I just really, want to deal with this grief in a better way other than drinking vodka all the time.
Right. And I think, like I said, grief is, a long-term process. There's different stages of grief. Sometimes you get out of one stage and, successfully move on to another stage. Sometimes we relapse and go back into other stages. I lost my mother, it's going on, I believe, 7 years now. And I notice there's times where I go back into like the anger phase. And I'm angry about things that I wish I could have changed and wish I could have done. So grief is more of learning like how to deal with going back and forth through those stages and doing it in a positive and helpful way. And I know the first step in helping with this grieving process if you're doing something negative to deal with it, we have to nip it before it grows to a bigger problem. So I'm happy that you're aware that you need a better outlet to deal with your problem, and I'm happy you're aware that you've had an alcohol problem prior to this and that this just made it more apparent. So we have some healing to do and some habits to change. But like I said, this questionnaire is going to help us figure out this in a more practical way to help you. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question I'm going to ask, and you may see me in a moment reach for my computer charger because my computer is kind of low. But let's go ahead and start with the first question. How often do you have a drink containing alcohol? Would you say never, monthly or less, 2 to 4 times a month, 2 to 3 times a week, or 4 or more times a week?
4 more times a week.
Okay. And you may see me just taking some notes or doing some typing. I'm just again using this to help when the time comes to use this in your treatment plan or our plan of action to help you during this time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So the next question I have for you is going to be, how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you're drinking? Would you say, and like that scale I showed you earlier, like 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of liquor? Would you say 0 to 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 or 9, or 10 or more?
I would say 7 and 9.
7 and 9. Okay. Alrighty. The next question is going to be, how often do you have 5 or more drinks on one occasion? Would you say never, less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Daily.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty in this. Let's keep going. We got 3 questions in. We're almost done. All right. How often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you had started? Would you say never, less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Daily.
Okay. How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected of you because of drinking? Would it be never, less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
I would say weekly.
Okay. How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? Would you say never, less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Almost daily.
So, and this is a question outside of the questionnaire, just to help me understand a little bit more on a personal level. So do you have like heavy drinking sessions like every night, or does it just depend on various factors?
It's pretty heavy. I take, about 7 shots of vodka. I get there quick. I don't really like the beer because you got to drink a lot. I like to get that buzz, get that feeling real quick. So I'll do like seven, at least 6, if not more, shots of vodka, and then feel good that evening. And the next morning, I wake up and I kind of feel like crap. So I'll take one more just to get that feeling going again.
Gotcha. So that kind of leads me on to my next question. Because you said like you fight crap quite often and you feel remorseful. So how often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking? You would probably say daily because you pretty much do that every night, huh?
Yes, so I feel guilty. Yeah, I know it's not good for me, but I mean,
Gotcha. Now, I know you mentioned this earlier, but I just have to ask again for the sake of the questionnaire. How often during the last year have you had have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking?
Kind of like weekly. I remember what happens. I drink. I don't black out, but there have been times when I just I drink and I fall asleep like on the couch, and then I wake up and I'm like, well, how did I get on the couch? You know, but um, it's usually just me when I do drink.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, because I remember you said you drink past the buzz, and I know sometimes for some people that means drinks until like you black out because when you drink, there's a part of your brain that stops working, which deals with memory, and so when you drink past that point, that part of your brain shuts off, and that's why you don't remember what happens because the alcohol just basically makes that part of the brain temporarily stop working. So
Okay.
yeah. So have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking? No, yes, but not in the last year. Yes, in the last year.
I've injured myself. I fell and hit the back of my head on the kitchen tile because
No.
I lost my balance. It was just a bump. I didn't bleed. I didn't have to go to the hospital, but I woke up the next morning. I had some lumps in the back of my head.
Okay, and has that's only happened this one time. It hasn't happened any other times?
Yeah, no, it only happened one time because I was pissed off and aggravated with myself that I injured myself like that. And my head really hurt. It was really tender.
Okay, and have you had any other medical problems since that incident, or that was just like an isolated incident?
That was it.
Okay, all right. And our last question, we made it to the finish line. Yay. Has a relative, friend, doctor, or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggest that you cut down?
Yeah, my friends are starting to notice I'm not really going out anymore and stuff.
Mm.
And then when I do go out, I kind of like look like crap because I usually drink vodka. I mean, I don't drive or anything. I Uber, but I don't look like I used to look because I'm not drinking. So they've kind of noticed my physical appearance looking not like what it used to.
Gotcha, but are they aware that you're drinking or they're just aware that it's like a physical and like social change at this point?
They know I'm drinking. They know I'm drinking. I don't fill them in on exactly how much. Like I might